be the first to admit, I am that guy that everyone hates in shooters, the one who sits in the shadows, the one in the overgrown shrub, the one under some blown up truck, watching the battles from afar, waiting patiently in the prone position for some poor sap to enter his scope. There's just a pure, visceral feeling about pulling off the perfect long-distance shot. Or maybe I just enjoy watching people's heads explode. Either way, I jump at any chance I can to play the sniper role. Enter in Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts, the next iteration in the Ghost Warrior series after the lackluster Ghost Warrior 3, which I actually enjoyed. Ghost Warrior Contracts touts a realistic single-player sniper experience where the player must take into consideration all the variables of sniping like windage, distance, and bullet drop. Ghost Warrior Contracts ditches the previous game's open-world style for a handful of large open levels where you play as a contracted sniper who can fulfill his contracts in a free-form manner. You can take them on in any order and in any way you want. Completing contracts will net you different currencies to unlock equipment, weapons, gadgets, gear, and upgrades. You can customize and modify your weapons to your liking and pick the perfect loadout before you deploy to your next contract mission. And you also wear a futuristic mask and suit that gives you all sorts of abilities like environmental recon and scanning, tagging enemies, protection from high falls, and enhanced stamina. Of course, there is a story behind contracts about some bad guys doing some bad things, and it's up to you to take them out and make the world a better place. The story isn't going to pull players into Contract's game world. It's going to be the gameplay, the environments, and the shooting mechanics, which is all sadly hit or miss. Gameplay consists of choosing your loadout, briefing with your handler, dropping into the open levels, and tackling your objectives. Once your objectives are completed, you must reach the extraction point to deliver any objective intel, items, and to finish the level. These areas are scattered with enemies and encampments with plenty of paths and different ways to sneak around, like this convenient hole in the barbed wire fence. This isn't a run-and-gun game, so sneaking is a necessity, so you'll be hiding in these overgrown shrubs and under double-wide trailers. There are enemies everywhere, whose IQs range from single digits to Einstein levels. The AI is inconsistent in their awareness of the player and their effectiveness in combat. You can stumble upon an enemy a few feet directly in front of them and they won't even react, but set off an alarm and they can magically know where you're hiding, reacting how a real soldier may. This guy was too busy staring at this rock to even notice me. Many of these enemies patrol in 2 or more, so to separate them you resort to the oldest trick in the book, which of course is to throw a rock and draw them away to take them out alone and quietly. You will be throwing a lot of rocks in this game. Gunplay isn't terrible, but nothing like a Battlefield, Call of Duty, or even a Far Cry. There is still a feel of clunkiness to the gunplay. While sniping can feel great, and it is surely satisfying taking someone's head off, movement is ultra slow and heavy. This is magnified when you're moving and using other weapons like assault rifles. This is when the game begins to rear its ugly budget head. Everything feels overly weighty and slow, even with the control sensitivity raised to the max. This clunkiness infects the entire game, from the menu system that stutters and failed reaction to inputs, to the traversal system which feels unnatural and odd. The entire game is poorly optimized, much like Ghost Warrior 3. The game even stutters in the level's intro videos. There are plenty of odd game design choices and obvious misses. Interrogating enemies only results in killing them, which will fail challenges, and during these interrogations, you can't move to safer cover. Better make sure the coast is clear at all angles before you grab a bad guy. Windage is still in effect even indoors, and while Contracts aims for realism, the futuristic mask and suit throws all realism out the window, especially with your scope and the overabundance of helpful indicators to align your shot. There is also a severe lack of options to customize the game to the player's liking, like playing completely HUDless for an even more immersive experience. Even on the hardest mode, Deadeye, there are no options to remove the HUD. It's quite a distraction to have a bunch of triangles and squares all over the screen while you're trying to immerse yourself into the game world. With this, the game becomes a hunt for shapes. None of the on-screen indicators you see here can be turned on. Ghost Warrior Contracts isn't a lost cause though. Setting up the perfect shot is always a delight, and with the gore system implemented in the game, shots can have a devastating effect on your enemies, all witnessed through the awesome yet somewhat nauseating bullet cam. I'm pretty sure that is a brain right there. So Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts gets a 6.5 and a buy later. Even through the lag, frame dips, and stutter, the game looks good with plenty of hours to play through to complete all of your contracts, challenges, and activities. The sniping experience is satisfying when you're able to find a nice spot and slowly and methodically take out your enemies. Taking off a body part is an added bonus. Less help with sniping variables and a complete HUDless mode would have excelled Contracts into proper realism mode and helped the game world become more immersive. So remember, if you liked the review, be sure to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Till next time, keep on gaming.